As ever, there is a heck of a lot to go at today, but I just wanted to start with something that I know is very, very big for us here at GB News, and it has actually been leading the news agenda in a lot of other outlets as well. It's in relation, of course, to Nigel Farage. Now, there can be no doubt that the metropolitan Liberal elite are trying to introduce a Chinese-style social credit system. They have infiltrated our public services, our corporations, our banks, more or less every single fibre of the fabric of society. We have known for a long time that our schools are full of raging trots that want to mould the next generation into their living, breathing lefty dolls. Just look at the Church of England schools now essentially teaching kids that they are white supremacists. Look at the push for children to become gender neutral and androgynous. The breakdown of the traditional nuclear family is upon us. We see companies virtue signalling at every opportunity, whether it's for Black History Month, Pride Month. It's a shame that they don't have a let's not shamelessly profiteer and rip off the customer month. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Hardware store Wix coming out and basically calling customers who think that women are women ignorant bigots. And now, banks and financial institutions. Nigel Farage has exposed Coutts, and like dominoes, others will now follow. Thousands of people will come out of the woodwork to say that they've been treated the same way. Nigel didn't align with the bank's values, apparently. They mentioned his views on Brexit, wanting to cut immigration, and push back on net zero. Well, that means that most people don't align with their values. If you try to debunk the establishment will debank you. They will try to ruin you financially. They will non-person you. And then the useful idiots in the media will try to help with a character assassination. The BBC gleefully tweeting that Nigel basically didn't have the funds, so they shut his account. Well, gosh, that is a willful breach of GDPR, if ever I've heard one. The kind of thing that if one sued a company for, then one would certainly expect to have enough funds after that to set up an account at Coutts. John Sopel, who's used his newfound freedom from the shackles of the BBC to cosy up to the likes of Tony Blair and Emily Maitlis. I mean, he's hardly a tourist, is he? Sopel comes out and calls Farage a Charlie, based on an incorrect leak to his former employer, who, of course, could never, ever be wrong. Sopel is the massive Charlie now, isn't he? It won't bother him that everybody thinks he's a slippery, out-of-touch moron. He will just surround himself with lovies and media types who reinforce his echo chamber and help him to carry on living the lie that he's actually really well respected. And then social media outlets will try to de-platform you as well, won't they? I had this experience recently where I tweeted a joke and then a mob picked it up, ran with it and got me a lifetime ban from Twitter that actually lasted less than 24 hours because the majority of people saw sense and went into bat for me, helping to expose what a farce the whole thing really was. But this is how it works. There is a set of values pushed on kids. It's pushed onto people on the high street and through media advertising. Then there are reputational implications in the media. Then there is a deplatforming on social media. And then there are financial implications for not adhering to those values. And all of this ultimately leads to the most devastating thing of all, self-censorship in the home and in polite company. Why? Because nobody wants that stuff to happen to them. And then the dystopian Orwellian symphony of indoctrination is complete, isn't it? And what I find very noticeable is that the people who try to claim this doesn't exist and isn't happening tend to hold the very same views and values that are being pushed on everyone, so they don't really care. But this is a problem for society, because most people don't have Nigel Farage's platform or my ability to come on national television and garner public support to push back at Twitter. So it just does for most people. It finishes them off. And think about how often this must be happening in society. We are heading, in my view, for a Chinese-style social credit system if we don't push back now.